Well, hello, friend, and welcome to the October 21st edition of Game on Hockey here on the Game Over Network. My name is Graham Mosimann. So excited to get you set for this week here in the world of hockey. Not a huge slate of games tonight. The only one we have is Leafs and Lightning. That's on that Amazon Prime Game of the Week dealy. Not sure if you've checked out any of the Amazon Prime stuff so far, but they had their Coast to Coast show that's available only in Canada on Thursday. That was a little bit better than their debut, but they still got a little ways to go. So if you are desperate for hockey tonight, the only place you can watch it is unfortunately through Jeff Bezos's musical fancy Streamo box or web login, or however you end up actually watching Prime stuff. I don't know what you're into. Before we get into the show today, and we have a lot of stuff to dive into, including Washington, D.C. absolutely rolling over and capitulating to the Capitals. Also have a little story about a misspelling on Vanecek's jersey, and the people of Winnipeg proving once again why they have some of the absolute best chants in the NHL outside of maybe Nashville? Before we dive into that, though, I want to tell you all about Hyperdrive Hockey, the flagship show here on the Game Over Network. It'll dive into all things hockey across leagues and countries with Max, Stephanie, and Kevin. They'll have you covered with all of your hockey news in a very steady pile of silliness and goofiness. You can watch that over on the Hyperdrive Hockey channel on the Game On Network YouTube channel, or you can find it wherever you listen to podcasts, and you can find the page over at the Game Over Network for Hyperdrive Hockey, thegameovernetwork.com. So, with that out of the way, let's talk about Washington. Now, the Capitals have been in this weird space for the last little bit with Ted Leonsis as their owner, because they had this plan to go and just leave D.C. behind. They were going to go across the border to Virginia, about a 25-minute drive away, and go into this crazy new super megalo complex that the governor of Virginia wanted to build, more or less for Ted Leonsis and all of his sports properties. Now that ended up kind of falling apart, and Washington was really left with the only place to play, which is still being the Capital One Arena, where they've been for the last number of years. Now, that arena is in pretty desperate need of some updates. I mean, according to the NHL, I'm sure if you go watch a game there, it's a fine place and a good spot. But one of the things that makes that arena so special is the district, the place it's located in with the city of DC. It's in the heart of a big kind of cultural hub for the city. So there's a bajillion restaurants, there's a ton of markets, kind of farmers markets kind of stuff. There's huge swaths of musical performance spaces, and it becomes this whole area built around the arena because it's really in the heart of one of the most happening places in DC. It's a very lively kind of place. And so to take the arena and not have sports there, and this is more so around Washington Wizards games, it would have just drained so much of the culture around the team out of the city. So not wanting to lose that, the team said, hey, maybe we could stay there if you pay for a whole bunch of renovations. And just very recently, guess what the city of Washington, D.C. has said they're going to do? If you thought, yep, give a whole bunch of taxpayer money to the billionaire, you are correct. So the Washington Capitals will pitch a little bit, but this is another instance, unfortunately, of cities giving money to sports teams because those poor billionaires are just too rich, real hard, can't spend money on stuff because their lives are so difficult. So unfortunate news for anyone that was hoping this trend of cities building arenas for billionaires to end. Unfortunate news there, but maybe some kind of good silver lining in the fact that they're going to keep it as this kind of cultural hub. And rather than spend a bajillion dollars on something crazy wasteful like a brand new building that they don't need, they're at least going to renovate and update the one they currently have. So, 50% positive-ish on this one. Washington. Let's head over to somewhere very, very silly mainly San Jose, California, a city that's not normally known for goofiness. This is a weird one, though. Vitek Vanecek, former New Jersey Devils goalie, now with the San Jose Sharks, had his name spelt wrong on his jersey. So his name, last name Vanecek, is spelled Vanecek. Now, instead of that, they had Vanacek. So they went with much more of like the English style spelling of what your brain thinks it should be, rather than, asking the player and confirming the spelling. Now, there's a couple of conflicting reports right now that one group of folks is saying that it's all the equipment guy's fault. Another blob is saying that it was the apparel company that San Jose contracts a bunch of their stuff out to. Who really knows where the truth is in this one? But Vitek Vanecek still played with a jersey that had his name misspelt on it. The Sharks haven't released comment, but I'm sure they'll be back with a proper name bar with his name spelt right or whatever. Because, that's hard to do at the National Hockey League level. Before we wrap up here the show today, I wanted to give a special nod and salute to our pals over in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. Now, Winnipeg, as a city, has always had a really great kind of chanting sort of history to it. Like if you ever watch Winnipeg Blue Bombers games, they'll often have like very specific chants, more elevated than just like Saskatchewan sucks, because that's their main kind of football rival. There is a Twitter account called it used to be called MTS Center Chants. It's since been rebranded to be with whatever the rink is now, which I think is Canada Life Place, because oh boy, we love insurance in our hockey. So they'll send out a call to kind of organize everyone on when to say it, and the season ticket holder base, a lot of them are very clued into this, and so they will get along with whatever the chants are. One of the best ones was Crosby's Better, one of the last times Alex Ovechkin was in town, and that seems to come up fairly regularly. But the one they had is Pittsburgh had their first arrival in the city of Winnipeg since that big trade that sent Rutger McGroarty to the Penguins. Rutger McGroarty, who has been not playing for the Penguins. Jets fans got together to chant, "Where is Rutger?" Clap, 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 clap. "Where is Rutger?" Which is just so petty and wonderful and silly. And if Kyle Dubas was listening, I'm sure he was slightly perturbed. So perturbed that he'll immediately look to hire someone from the Sioux Greyhounds to make himself feel a little bit better. That'll do it for today here on Game On Hockey. I'm Graham Mosimann. If you enjoyed the show, please subscribe on whatever platform you happen to be listening or watching on. We're a tiny little company, and a subscription or even a review can go miles into helping us get into in the eyes and ears of new audiences and new people, so we can keep making cool sports media that's just a little bit different and a little bit more human than some of the stuff you'd see anywhere else. Have yourself a great day. I'm Graham Mosimann. We'll talk tomorrow here on Game On Hockey.